Hey, Marcella.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you so much for accepting the invite. I very do much appreciate your time and I feel very grateful for you being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I felt honored to be here. So, yeah, let's have a good talk. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Marcella, for those who don't know you, can you please just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit of your backstory and what do you do?
Okay. So I'm a Brazilian. I'm a mom of two boys, 5 and 1 year old. I've been here in Dubai for like 7 years, 8 years. It depends on how you count it. My husband would say 7 years. I would say eight. Uh, but back in Brazil, my graduation was in agronomic engineering, and then I also studied in France to finish the graduation. So back there in my head, there is a little bit of French that is being not used for a long time, but yeah. And then we moved here, and I just didn't saw myself working as an engineering. Like I was working with projects and everything, and I was like, nah, I don't think it is the thing I'm going to do now. So I got pregnant, and then I had all the experience of being pregnant, and it was super nice. It was super positive. And then in the end, let's say when I was like breastfeeding my baby already, like all the experience had passed, and I was with my friends, and I could share information with these friends. I learned that I was good in sharing information. I was like, okay, so I like to empower other women and to let them know what are the options they have, and to feel a little bit more, um, in a way, in control, even if we are not in control, but like just knowing the options they had for their, even for their birth, but at that moment for their like life with their babies and
Mhm.
breastfeeding. So I was like, maybe this is something I like. And at that moment, a training came to Dubai from the US for doulas, and I was like, I knew I was not going to do it for me. I was like, no, I don't like these kind of things. I don't like hospitals. I don't like blood. I'm not doing doula thing. And then one of the doulas that was my mentor then back then, she said, I think you're pretty much a doula. I think you should train. And then I was like, nah, maybe I'm just doing the educator one. So I will teach people. I'll just learn how to give the information to them, and that's it. She's like, yeah, actually, you should do both. So I did both, and then I ended up working as a doula for 5 years, and then now I'm starting to launch my first prenatal classes. So
Lovely.
from the thing that I was thinking that I was going to be a teacher and making and doing classes and everything, I'm just starting now to like to sell it as a class. But until now, I was working as a doula. Of course, I was using everything I knew. I got to know and I learned when I did the childbirth educator class. But funny enough, I was wrong. I had the doula thing in my heart. So today I work as a doula, a childbirth educator, with couples, pregnant couples, or even couples that are in the path of conceiving or of breathing, and then also breastfeeding. So I'm a lactation consultant, and then yeah, I'm with them throughout pregnancy and labor and afterward for some time. Let's say.
Wonderful. Marcella, just a question popped into my mind while you were describing your story. Why then have you started ergo engineering, the specialty which you have took in university? If you weren't planning, let's say, to go through with it, was it like a choice which you have chosen, or was it like environment pressure onto you?
Okay. So my what made me, let's see, the reason I choose to be an agronomic engineering is it was to be close to nature.
Mm.
I have this as a hobby. I love to do things in the nature. I love to plant. Like even when we were in COVID times and we just had the balcony to do anything, I was planting with my son, my 1-year-old son, in pots and everything. So I like to plant. So I wanted to be close to nature. And that was the way I found to do it. Back in Brazil, I was not working exactly with what people think about agronomic engineers, which is crops and like huge, I don't know, soybeans production, plantations and everything. I was working with trees and conservation. So I was pretty much working on the conservation side and also education side. And then when I came to Dubai, it was a little bit of a like environmental pressure, because I was like, okay, how am I going to work with this here? How am I going to go to farms or anywhere to grow like trees and to be inside a forest if we are in the desert? So I kind of wanted, and also because I was just right before coming here, I was working in one of the big fours, which is the consulting and what is the name again?
I think
Auditing
before
company.
auditing, PwC, Ernst and Young, and
yeah, I was in UI in Ernst and Young. So I had 3 years there before coming here, and they were exhausting. Like I was the only person in Brazil to cover all the farms and everything in Brazil. So from the north to the south, I was the only one traveling and doing everything as an agronomic engineering for auditing process. So I was tired, and I was like, okay, this is the good time to go to Dubai, like to change my life a little bit, go there, do something else, like relax for a year. And then I even thought, like, maybe I'm just taking a sabbatic year and then like chilling a little bit for a year, and then I'll go back to work. But then I got pregnant, and then I got all the experience with the birth, and I was like, nah, maybe this is something I like much more than like being the nature. Maybe being the nature could be really just a hobby that I do like every weekend or anything when I have free time. But like to work and like wake up every morning or in the middle of the night happy is to go to see a baby being born. So this is what makes me happy, waking up in the middle of the night, like knowing that I'm gonna help a couple to be empowered and to feel that they are important in the process. And also because seeing a baby being born is something like out of this world. It's just amazing.
Wonderful. I'm very happy that you found, let's say, your calling or your passion in life. Let's talk about doula. What is it? Can you please like identify to us what is the role of a doula? What do you do and what is it?
So a doula is a person that will serve. Like if you take the root of the word, is a serving person. So a doula is someone that will serve another person which is in labor and birth. It's pregnant. So we mainly provide that person or that couple with physical and emotional support, also informations. So we're going to be there with them during pregnancy, during labor and birth, and in the postpartum with these three things. So if they need comfort, physical comfort, coping measures to go throughout labor, or if they need to change position, if she needs to change positions, or if she's facing, which is super common, if she's facing difficulties emotionally, because your body is asking a lot from you, and sometimes you don't prepare your mind, you just prepare your body. So also this is something that it's very challenging, and we are also there for them. And then information. Nowadays we have like in our hands lots of information, but sometimes we don't know what to do with them, or what are the good ones and what are the evidence-based ones, because like anyone can say anything. So we are there to give this kind of package. And one of the most important things is we give support continuously and evidence-based support. So if she asks me, oh, should I agree with this procedure? I'm not going to give her my idea of what is good or not. I will tell her, if you go through these researches, the most how can I say it? The most important ones will say that this have an impact on the outcome of your labor, and these ones not. So she will have all the information to decide by her own, or by like with her husband or her partner, which is what we aim when they are in labor and when they're having a baby, because it's her experience. And I cannot say, oh, this is the best for you, because maybe that's not the best for her. So I'll give all the information. So that's also something very interesting. And this continuous support means I'm going to know her during pregnancy. I'll go with her, meeting her session by session until she gets in labor. We go to the hospital. I'll stay all the time with her in the hospital, not leaving the room most likely. And then after the baby's born, I go to my house. And then after, I still see her once. So it's something that you cannot wait from anybody else, because people in the hospital will see you, and then we'll do like something outside of the room, and then we'll see again. So this is also something that's very nice, and we look forward when looking for a doula.
I see. You mentioned that the lady or the female, when she's pregnant, she goes through, let's say, many ups and downs emotionally. Can you please like tell us what might she go through, and like how can you support her mentally? Because I can think of many reasons how mental support can play like a huge role in someone going through something, or feeling depressed or feeling excited. So how do you manage that? How do you manage the feelings and the emotions?
Breathing is one of my favorite techniques, and it's simple as taking a deep breath. Sometimes couples go through hypnobirthing courses, which are amazing. So they kind of train breathing techniques, and they can use it during labor. But simply to breathe calmly and to prepare yourself for what is coming. And then when I say what is coming is the next contraction, because it's nice to think about it. Contractions don't come like boom and hit you. They're like a wave, like you see them far, and then they come slowly by slowly. And then there is a moment that you cannot do anything else except accept it and like go through it. And then if you prepare yourself when you see the wave coming, it hits you in a way that you can support, and then you can kind of like surf it.
I see.
So I really like to teach them that your body is wise and it's give you signals. So if the wave is coming there, just stop whatever you're doing, concentrate in your breathing, and then most probably this wave is going to hit you in a nice way, let's say, like you can cope with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so breathing for me is one of the most important ones. And once you're breathing, your thoughts are calm. So let's say that the lady got distracted with something, happens a lot, or someone was doing something to her, like doing a procedure or checking something, and then she got distracted, or she didn't like pay attention on the wave, and then she was like, nah, I'll just finish doing this, and then I'll think about this contraction later. And then boom, it hits her. And then she's kind of afraid. What we usually speak beforehand during prenatals, when I see them during pregnancy, is how to go to a safe place while you are like with fears or discontrol or anything like this. So sometimes she's just like breathing out of like kind of like desperately breathing, and she's hyperventilating, and this is not going to be good for her. And then I kind of come to herself, like close to her ear, and then I say, can you hear me? And then usually she's like, and then I'm like, can I guide you somewhere else? Can we go somewhere else? And she's like, and then I'm like, okay, do you remember your safe place? And then usually we talk beforehand, and then she's like, The place that I feel the most safe is my grandparents' house, underneath that tree. When I used to be a kid and I used to play there and catch some mangoes. Like for me, it's my grandparents' house with mangoes and everything. That's the safe place for me. So they usually have a place, even if it's not something from their family or emotional, just a place that they travel to, like a beach house or anything. They have that safe place. And then I kind of guide her to go to that safe place when she's kind of not like kind of losing it. And then usually it helps a lot. And then if she has other types of fears, let's say she's fine, she's in the beginning of labor, so like the waves are super okay, she can still talk to everybody and walk and sit and do whatever she wants while the contractions are coming. So okay, but she has something in her mind from a previous experience, or from something that someone said to her, from a family experience. Sometimes your mom says like, oh, labor is horrible, it's the worst experience of your life, because she had a very bad experience, so that's what she knows, and then that's what she tells you. So you have that fear or something, and then what we usually do is we work on that fear beforehand, during prenatals, during pregnancy. If even during labor it appears again, we try to address it. So okay, what is your fear? Let's try to understand where it comes from. Oh, it comes from my mother experience. Okay, so let's think these are different experiences, that these are different times. So she had some information, you have something else as information. You guys are in a different place. Usually the ladies that I support are expats, so they didn't live here, their family are not here, their families are not here. So usually the experience that they are facing is different from their family's experience. So we kind of put it on the table. Let's talk about it. And then if she really has a fear of something that will happen, like I have a fear of pushing my baby. Like when it comes to push the baby, I cannot think about it. So we kind of try to cut it into small phases, and then try to identify where is the fear. So I have a fear of the pain, I have a fear of the baby, the head of the baby, I don't know. And then we kind of find solutions. Okay, so if you're afraid of the pain, we have comfort techniques, and we have medicines, we have anesthesia, we have things in the hospital, and we have things in my doula bag that we can try to kind of face it together. And then I always tell them that I'm there, I'm going to be there. So, and also the midwife that will come, she's also been there. The doctor that will come, he or she is going to be there. So it's also something about making her comfortable, again, with all that thoughts. And yeah, usually it's fear, and then getting the contractions and getting like the fear kind of grows because you're feeling the pain. But usually if we address it and then we find solutions, they get very well after. They're like, okay, so when it comes, I'll do this. And then if it doesn't work, I'll do that. And then most probably it's going to finish like this. Okay, I'm good with that. So we kind of plan it, and then they get better. Yeah.
I love it. Like how you mentioned preparing for the wave. It's just as if you're in an open sea, like for example, or on the beach, like when you're you can see a big wave, or surfing. If you can prepare for it, you can go via the surf. However, if you didn't, then you're gonna fall and feel it hard in a sense. So like it's all about preparing. Can you
Yeah.
please tell us what's the difference between a doula and a midwife? You mentioned the midwife. Like, what's the difference?
Okay, so the midwife is a hospital professional. She is part of the hospital staff, and she has some duties, let's say. So she's gonna come. She will. Her main task would be to keep the mom and the baby healthy and safe. So she physically healthy and safe. So she's gonna come to the labor room. She's gonna do exams. She's gonna check on vitals. She's gonna hook on and hook off some materials, some sensors to check the heart rate of the baby and the contractions, and then she's gonna leave the room. So she's someone that is not gonna be there all the time, although sometimes they want to, but they don't have the time. Usually they assist, they support, they care for more than one family. So they, like, she's responsible for like 2 or 3 rooms, let's say, and she has to do paperwork as well. So she's someone that is there looking to the patients with the doctor's eyes, let's say, because here in Dubai they have to report to the doctors. There are some countries where they don't need to report to the doctor. They are just there being the medical staff, and that's it. But here in Dubai we have the midwife, and then when it comes for the time for the baby to arrive, we have the doctor. And then in the other hand, the doula is the person that is gonna be there for you the entire time, like during all the labor, because midwives are hospital staff, let's say, and doulas are someone hired by the couple. So this is also a main difference. Then doulas are going to be there from pregnancy to after birth, checking on the birthing person. So if she needs anything, if she's hungry, thirsty, if she needs to go to the toilet, if she needs to change position. So the support is continuously through labor. And we are gonna tell her what we are gonna stay with her, and make suggestions also to her husband, which is something that sometimes happens to be super difficult, because most of the times the lady is prepared, but the husband is not that prepared. She read more than him. That's why also it's important for the husband to be with her whenever there's a place for him during the prenatal meetings. So if he's interested in being there during labor to see the baby being born, it's super important for him to be prepared as well. And so the doula also can help with the husband during labor. And yeah, that's the main difference. Although both of us are going to care about the binom, about the mom and the baby, midwives will be a little bit more focused on the physical health, and then the doula will be a little bit more focused on the emotional and physical comfort, let's say.
I see. Like, now something also crossed my mind. What's the role of the husband in all of this from the eyes of the doula? Like, for example, if my wife is pregnant and is delivering soon, what's my role? What should I do?
So you are the person in the room that most know that person, the lady that is like your wife. You are the one that knows probably her fears and what she likes, and even like the smells that she likes. Probably you know what she would like to have during birth. What are the interventions and the procedures that she's okay with, and what are the ones that she's like, nah, this is a really no for me. So you are the person that holds all this information, and you also have the intimacy to be close to her and like tell her things that maybe we cannot say to her. So your role would be to be very close to her and to show your support, because she's also waiting for the support for the support of the husband most of the time. If he told that he wants to be there and he wants to participate, she's kind of waiting for it as well. So to be there, to be close to her. And then sometimes people say, oh, but how about the doula? What the doula is going to be doing? Like if the husband is doing everything, or if the husband is there for her, for the lady all the time, we're going to kind of work together. So I'll be there trying to understand what is happening, which phase of labor the lady is, and what are the things that we can do to make it more comfortable, while the husband can be there saying nice things to her, or bringing like some water, or just like holding her and dancing or singing something. Like there are little differences, but if we work as a team, it's very good. It's very nice, and it works very well. Even sometimes if I'm doing like there's something that we do that is called the double hip squeeze. It's just like holding the hips, because sometimes you're dilating and there's something in your body that is called relaxin when we are in labor, when we are pregnant actually, that relax our muscles and our ligaments, and then sometimes it relaxes too much, you feel that you're kind of like you feel your pelvis is opening for the baby to pass, but sometimes it doesn't feel comfortable because it's like it's a baby passing. And then we do this kind of holding the hips on the sides, and then sometimes she's in heaven with that like squeeze. She's like, oh my god, keep doing it. And then we do it while the contraction is there, but then the contraction finishes, and in my head I'm like, okay, I can release it. And then she's like, no, keep doing it. I'm like, okay. And then I have to stay there for a while. And then sometimes I just call the husband and say, can we change? Like, can you stay here with the hip squeeze for a while? And then he does the hip squeeze for a while. And then I go, like, I don't know, to check and take something for her. I have a doula bag, which is kind of a Mary Poppins bag. Like we keep taking things out of it. And one of the things that I most like from the bag is a hot pad. Like nobody gives anything for a hot pad, but a hot pad during labor is like saving thing. And then usually I just ask the husband to be there doing the hip squeeze, and I go hit it's electric hot pad, which is allowed in hospitals. So I hit the pad, and then we come, and then we exchange again, and then he takes a break. So it's very important for the husband to be there if he wants to be there, because if he doesn't want to be there, then it doesn't make sense to have someone that doesn't want to be there or doesn't feel comfortable being there. It's strange to be there. So we also respect it. So if he doesn't want to,
I think if the man doesn't want to be there, it's just going to add some pressure on the lady throughout that period. So I think she only needs people around her who are like there to help or assist in a sense. I see your point. Now, all the roles which you have described for me for the doula, I can see that there are roles where you have to be around the pregnant lady almost all the time. So I'm wondering, would that role fit in a virtual role? In a sense, in the pandemic, you mentioned that this is where you started, like, or in the pandemic, I was wondering, how can you keep on doing the role of a doula at a lockdown? Is that possible?
So I started while we were in we were in lockdown. Yeah. So while we were in lockdown, I started doing this virtual support. It was out of nowhere that it started, because I went to a labor all the way in Abu Dhabi, and it was locked down, and it was crazy because you had to have an authorization to get out of your house. And then I had it, but even I saw the traffic light, the traffic control of speed in Sheikh Zayed, like bling, 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 bling. I had like 7 lights from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have 7 fines. And then I got to the hospital there, and they didn't allow me in, I think because of COVID, but it was still in the very beginning. So they didn't give me the explanation, but I think it was just like because of the new thing that was happening. So I stayed in my car, in the phone, talking to them, the husband and the pregnant lady, which were in the hospital. And then it worked pretty well, because we kind of mixed between phone calls, video calls, and WhatsApp messages. So I give them my doula bag, and I show them how to use it. So, and I have everything labeled in my doula bag, like in little plastic bags. So like, I don't know, like the hot pad with the charging cable, and then the essential oils, and so everything that it's kind of labeled, so it's kind of easy for them to. And I started labeling because of pandemic. And then I gave them my doula bag, and they knew how to use it. I explained beforehand. while they were in the room, I asked them to take pictures for me. So can you take a picture of the bed? Let me see if the bed can like change in shape, so we can kind of put something for her to like be standing but pulling something, or if she can sit in a different position. So like they were taking pictures of the room for me, and I was like suggesting things. So maybe there you can do this, maybe this toilet you can do that. In this machine you're gonna see the heart rate of the baby and the contractions. So this side is a heart rate, this side is a contraction. So I was explaining these kind of things. And then whenever something was happening and they didn't know what to do, that this is something we kind of talk about beforehand as well, but to have time to make decisions. Because sometimes, because you're in the hospital and because you have been asked, can I do this? Like, I'm doing this procedure, okay? Usually this is the question. I'm doing this procedure, is it okay? And then what do you want to say? Okay.
Yeah.
But then in the back of your mind is like, is it okay? Like, do I really need it? Do I really want it? So usually what we kind of talk beforehand is like, ask for some time. You don't have to reply for everything at the same time they ask you, because sometimes it's not urgent. If it's urgent, they're probably not gonna ask you like, this is urgent, we're gonna do this to you. Boom, they do it. But if it's not urgent, they're gonna ask you, and then you have time to reply. So when they got the time to reply, they were asking me, Marcella, we have this. I remember we talked about it, but can you explain everything again? Because sometimes I don't understand, and sometimes I don't remember what to say. And then I explain everything. I don't make decisions for them. I put everything on the table, and then they take, like I go with the pros and cons, and then they go, okay, for us, this is better. For us, no, this is better. Because families are different. So they could make the decisions, even if I wasn't there. And yeah, so it worked pretty well. And then after that experience, I started having clients abroad, like someone in Lebanon, someone in Qatar, someone in, like, they were all over, because they were in lockdown, and sometimes because they didn't have doulas in the city. So sometimes they were like, I don't have a doula here in the city, so I prefer to have someone virtually than not to have someone.
I see.
And then I, if we talk beforehand and I can explain them everything that they can do, everything that the husband can do, or the partner, or like her mother, I don't know, whoever is going to be there. If we have time to plan and explain everything, they can do it pretty well.
I see. Like, actually, that's amazing. Like, the rarity sometimes of the person in an area creates alternate solutions. As you mentioned, like the virtual support. I love that. One thing also that now I'm wondering, does the doula fit in all kind of birth, in a sense? Medicated, unmedicated, vaginal births. Do the doulas fit in both scenarios? Or is there a place where the doula does not fit perfectly? Can you please show it?
Mm-hmm. So yes, a doula can fit all kind of birth, because we are mainly there for the birthing person. So whatever she thinks it's better for her life, we are there to support. And then we come without judgments. So if I'm a pro natural birth and someone is going for a C-section, it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna kind of imprint on her my experiences and say you have to have experiences like this. So yeah, I have been supporting cesareans, I have been supporting medicated birth, and I have been supported natural birth, and it's like unmedicated. And they are all beautiful, and the doula, like the role of the doula were very much appreciated in all of them, which is amazing, because sometimes we think, oh, it's a C-section, what a doula can do. So usually I come beforehand, and then we can do like a meditation session, or we can just chat and laugh, or I can do a massage, and then like we just kind of relax, because it is overwhelming to go into a surgery, even if this is something that she chose. But it's also important to be calm and understand that this is like a very important moment in your life, from when you don't have a baby to a place where you have a baby and you're a mom. So it's a big transition in life, and to be prepared, even if it's surgery, it's also important. So yeah, all of them a doula can work, and all of them we can have amazing outcomes.
Wonderful. Like, how do you usually plan your, let's say, program with the couple? Do they usually hire the doula at the beginning, as soon as they know that they are pregnant, or close to birth? And how does it, let's say, your programming to each period of the process goes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So usually couples will hire a doula when and this is interesting, when they start feeling, when the lady starts feeling the baby. And it's very interesting. Why? Because first, you're pregnant, okay, and then you have a test from the pharmacy that tells you're pregnant, okay, and then you have a blood test that tells you're pregnant, okay, and then you go to the doctor, and then you do an ultrasound, and it also tells you're pregnant, but you don't feel it. You're like, okay, everybody's telling me, but what if I'm not, because I'm not feeling anything?
What should I
So they
expect?
kind of don't connect yet with the pregnancy and the baby in the really beginning. Also, sometimes you're not feeling that well, like you can feel morning sickness, and then you have like all these nausea things. Not everybody, but some of them will have it, and then they are not in the mood of starting anything or like trying something new, because they are just coping with what they're feeling. So usually close to 20 weeks, 20 something weeks of pregnancy, they start like feeling the baby, and they're like, okay, so maybe I should think about birth. Maybe I should think about someone to be with me. Maybe they start thinking about everything.
Yeah.
So, but also we will have these couples or ladies that would say, I'm pregnant, 5 weeks of pregnancy. I need support. I need everybody. I need to prepare everything. So there are also that kind of person that will do everything beforehand. And it's also fine to hire a doula this early, because we can start talking very calmly, and then she can read lots of things if she likes, and we can be in touch and starting this connection before, which is also super nice. So it doesn't matter when. We just need to have time to plan little things, and then time to go to labor together. That's all we need. Because I had clients hiring me when they were 37 weeks, 38 weeks, 39 weeks. And then like, wow, the baby's almost there. And then it works. It works if both of us, me and the couple that is hiring me, we know everything that is in, like everything that we are gonna have to change, because it's kind of late in pregnancy already. So okay, we just do one meeting, we go to labor, and then the baby's there, and then it's fine. But I usually say I need to do at least one meeting with them, because I need to understand what they expect from me. I need to tell them what I can do for them, because sometimes they're like, yeah, I want you to take all the decisions, because no, I cannot take all the decisions. So like I explain them what a doula can do, and then I kind of connect with them, because it's very hard. Like, I know some doulas can do it, but for me it's very hard to just come to the labor for the first time meeting them, and then I have to be with them in a very special moment, very intimate, and then I don't know them, and it's very, for me it's like super hard. So I really like to meet them at least once, and then do a birth plan, plan whatever they would like to have, and explain everything. So yeah.
Wonderful. Like the way I see it, like the more you know about the couple themselves, and especially the female, the better outcome of this process will be. Because you would be able to guide her emotionally and mentally. And for you to do that, you need to know her as a person, what triggers her, like how does she feel, what doesn't she like, fears, dislikes, and such. And according to that, you can guide her through the process. And I think this is why you also mentioned that the role of the husband, if he wants to be in the process, is also crucial, because he knows her the most, because he spent a lot of time with her. So he knows these small details that trigger certain emotions, certain memories with her, in a sense.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about, is there specialities to doulas, or is it like just a doula that can do everything, or does it branch out to many specialities?
So inside the doula work, let's say, we're going to have doulas that prefer things or had experiences in their life that will lead them to one or other things. For example, doulas that are specialized, let's say, specialized in preterm babies. So they had lots of experiences with preterm babies and preterm labor, and they know a lot about it. And they have groups to support you if you are a mom with preterm babies. So there are doulas that will focus a little bit more on this. There are doulas that will be trained in hypnobirthing. So they will teach you everything they know about hypnobirthing. They will do lots of meditations and visualizations and all these things. In my case, for example, I'm passionate about breastfeeding. So if you let me, I'll talk about breastfeeding like for 24 hours.
Sure.
So if she needs me afterwards as a lactation consultant, I'll be there. Even after birth, when the baby comes, I'll also help during the first feed. So all these things are little particularities from each doula, although all of us can do everything. So I've been to labors of preterm babies like more than once. I did hypnobirthing to myself, like to have my baby to go into labor. So I know about hypnobirthing, and I know the importance of breathing, and then I really help them to breathe. And then, so we all have kind of experiences that will lead us to like and to study a little bit more about one thing, but we all have, let's say, generalist training, and we can all do everything.
I see. What can you tell me about hypno breathing? What was it called? The
Hypnobirthing.
hypnobirthing. Sorry. What can you tell me more about? Because I was intrigued by the term hypno, which is related to hypnosis. So what is it?
In a nutshell, let's say it's a way of self-hypnosis. So it's a way that you will, by your own breathing, by your own thoughts, are going to put yourself in a state of calmness and like just kind of like putting yourself in a hypnosis. But it's not hypnosis. It is just this state of like being consciously relaxing our muscles and putting our mind into good things. So there are some guided meditations related to birth. There are some couples meditations or couples moments where the husband or the birthing support person will be there doing some like light massage, or we're gonna put them thinking visualizing something, and then with a trigger of like a touch, she will think about something else, or like we kind of train these kind of things. It's very nice to use during labor because it really works, but it takes a little while for you to kind of train in the birthing techniques that are taught in the hypnobirthing course. So there are doulas trained with hypnobirthing. They offer hypnobirthing courses, and then couples or only the woman will go learn all these things, and she has, or they have to practice. And then once they practice, they can use it during labor. And then using during labor is fantastic. Like we you know, these videos that you see that the lady is breathing and then she's birthing her baby, like these kind of things. Usually they're using hypnobirthing.
I love it. So, like putting the lady in a state of extreme relaxation in the moment, not to be overwhelmed by the process, and let's say maybe the pressure of the environment which she might have had of what might come, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Marcella, on a personal level, where are you going with this? For example, what are your plans for the future for yourself? Because I can see that you are someone who's very passionate, and it's like you found your calling in life. And I'm pretty sure that your mind is always working into how can I make this better of an experience. So where are you going with this?
So, as I said before, I'm launching a course, a preparation birth course for couples,
Mhm.
just because I think preparation is key.
Mhm.
And this is also this is gonna be the first summer that I'm not gonna be here since I moved.
Mhm.
And I feel so sorry because summer is the moment that I most work, because most of the doulas, most of people are gonna leave Dubai, except the pregnant ladies because they cannot. So they all stay here and they all need a doula. And I usually work a lot during summer. And this summer I'm not going to be here. And then I felt sorry for them because um, we still have doulas that are going to stay here, but they are limited. Like they are like 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have like lots of ladies that are looking for doulas. So I was thinking that a way of feeding them with information is a course. And then so I'm doing this course, and I plan to replicate it every 2-3 months, let's say, just to have this option, because sometimes people say, oh, I don't have the budget to pay for a doula, or I really don't want someone else in my birth, or I don't know, there's a reason that I don't that I don't want a doula, but I do like or would think of a course with my husband for us to learn everything together, for us to be on the same page. This is also nice because sometimes she's like here with information and he's here, so it puts them on the same page, on the same level of information. So this is something that I'm doing now. And also I'm focused a little bit more on breastfeeding. I'm finishing one of my courses of breastfeeding. I did some of them already, but now I'm finishing one with someone very known and very professional from Brazil. And then let's say if I do the international certification, let's see. So yeah, I'm focusing a little bit more in prenatal education and breastfeeding, although I'm still passionate and I really want to go to labor. But I'm trying to diversificate a little bit,
Yeah.
diversify
Love
a
it.
little bit more, because these are also my passions. I really like to see people empowered, and I really like to see babies feeding, if this is something that the binom wants, like if the lady and the baby want to go with breastfeeding. I really like to help them to make it happen, because it's not natural, it's not instinctive, it's not coming like, you just put the baby there and baby's gonna latch and feed. Nah. So we really need to help them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marcella, for your service and like the support that you provide for all the ladies out there. I wish you nothing but happiness and all the best for you and your family. Is there any message that you want to share, let's say, with the women out there from the eyes of a doula as a closing note for the show?
Mm-hmm. So I would like to say for you that is pregnant, that this is an experience of your life, and you can be the person that chooses whatever is going to happen to you. Of course, talking to other people that will know what needs to be done, but don't forget, this is an experience of something that is happening in your body, with your baby. So take the lead of it and have a very, very, very positive experience. even if it's not the experience that you wished for, which probably is not going to be exactly what you wished for, but being on the top of the information and talking to everyone that is helping you and caring for you during the labor process and the birth will make you feel empowered, and then most probably have a very positive experience.
Thank you so much, Marcella.
Thank
You're a
you. Thank
wonderful
you, Rida.
person.
It was very nice talking to you.
Very
Thank
nice
you.
talking to you as well. All the best. I wish you all the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao. Bye bye.